Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the FamVestor Podcast. I'm your host, Sonny Burns.
And I'm your co-host, Sunmurray Burns.
So today we're talking all about Airbnb and actually our experience being Airbnb hosts for the last 4 months. We started September of 2019, so about 4 months ago now, and it's been almost like an overnight success. Literally an overnight success. We had someone book it the night we listed it.
Right.
And he booked it for 2 nights after that. We made a quick, what was it, like $200, something like that. So it's pretty sweet. And we've been booked, like the first full month, we were booked 20 out of 30 days. And then like 19 days the next month. And it's been pretty average at that. I think we've made $6,000 over the last 4 months. Anyway, we're going to dig into the numbers. We're very excited about it. It's been great towards our financial independence, pushed us right to 100%. 102%, so that was cool. But yeah, we're gonna focus on Airbnb today, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Right.
Yeah, life's been exciting here. Sunri is due in 3 days.
3 days. 3 days till baby comes.
Baby number 3. It's exciting times here.
Right.
Yeah, we've been in. We had a warm. So today is January 12th. We're recording this after 9 p.m. as usual. It's currently 10:23 p.m. We always record after the kids go to sleep. But today we had fun with the boys. We flew a kite successfully. The kite was up for an hour. Really windy today because it's like 60 degrees mid-January. It's crazy.
Yeah, but beautiful weather.
Yeah. Anyway, the boys and I had a blast in the park. We were there for a couple hours. And yeah, we had a kite fly for like an hour. And I feel like we've done this so many times where we take the boys to the park with a kite and we try to fly it and it never works.
Never goes anywhere.
But today it was so windy. It was really great. They had a great time. And I had a great time because I think that's my first time also flying a kite successfully. So yeah, just nice to be outside, nice to enjoy nature and have some...
Trying to make the most of these warm days because they are an anomaly in the middle of January.
Right. We went on a nice hike yesterday to our favorite hiking spot here in the North Jersey area, Flat Rock Nature Brook. So that was
beautiful.
Nice. Yeah, a little intense for you, being only 4 days out from pregnancy, but
it was good.
Good 2-3 mile hike, yeah. Okay, well, without further ado, let's get to the show.
You're listening to the FamVestor Podcast. If you're looking to raise your family with intention, gain financial independence, and live a life of true freedom, you're in the right place. Join us as we explore together how to create thriving families, because strong families are the cornerstone for a world at peace.
Welcome back, everyone. So, if you want to follow along on today's talk, I just published a great blog post on Airbnb. So, it's called famvestor.com/Airbnb. So, again, like family investor, www.famvestor.com/Airbnb. And that's a really good write-up of our whole Airbnb process, and we're just going to talk to it today.
Sunny does a really good job at writing things up very succinctly and getting all the important information out. And I was pretty impressed with this article. I think you did a very nice job with it.
I think I did a very nice job as well. Thank you. So, where did we all start? So the origin story for this is, so we bought this property, in Garfield, this 4-family house back in October of 2015. And it came with this space that, like, decades ago, back in like the 1950s, used to be a grocery store. So this 4-family house had a little grocery store, and that grocery store has since been out of existence for a long time, but it was a neighborhood grocery store. And so we had this space that was unfinished, just plywood on the floor, no real electricity in the ceiling, or there was lights and stuff, and it was like roughly finished, but really unusable.
Kind of the equivalent of like a garage space or workshop, or but it had a bathroom and a very rustic main area, which long ago was a 1-room grocery store.
Right, and it was attached to our unit, but it had a separate entrance. And so, we just didn't know really what to do with it. There was this weird stain going on. We were like, is it rain coming down? It's always wet or feels wet. And I don't know. There was like all these little problems that we didn't know what to do with. So, years go by and we just end up using it to store junk and garbage.
Yeah. Basically, it became our garage that you can't put a cart in. You just put stuff in.
Right. But it was just really hoarding just junk. And it just, every time I'd pass by, it'd get me more and more upset. I'm like, there's this great space that we just are not doing anything with. You know, maybe we can fix it up, make it a family room. You know, we love doing like watching yoga videos in the house, but it's kind of tight in the house. This would be a great space to have a yoga room.
Yeah, a couple of years ago we did Insanity,
right.
And we didn't have enough space in our office room to really work out properly, and we're like, you know, that's a bigger space. That would be much better for...
Yeah, it's like 13 foot by 13 foot, so pretty decent sized space with its own bathroom. And we thought maybe you can even host art classes in there. So anyway, we had these ideas churning, and then finally I was thinking maybe we could do an Airbnb in there. You know, it has a separate entrance, it has its own bathroom. Maybe that would work. But I was like, who's gonna stay in an Airbnb in Garfield? You know, sure, we're like a 20-minute drive without traffic into the city, but there's better places to be, like in Fort Lee or Hoboken. Who's gonna stay here? But I saw, you know, I did a quick search on Airbnb, and I found this one Airbnb in Garfield. You know, he had a basement apartment with pull-out sofas, and you know, I just messaged him and I was like, hey, do you mind if I, you know, take you out to Dunkin' Donuts and we just chat about Airbnb? He's like, sure. So we met up and I talked to him, and he tells me he has like an 85% occupancy rate. And I'm like, really? For your basement? People are just in Garfield, New Jersey? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, are they all people who are going to New York City? And he's like, no, it's there's like 3 wedding venues in Garfield, New Jersey, you know, so people from out of state coming for weddings, and they need a cheap place to crash, so they just stay in the Airbnb in Garfield. So he says that's where most of his clients came from, and that really was like an aha moment. I'm like, let's try this.
There's potential, even if you don't think you're near big attractions. There's actually other draws that could be in your towns that bring people in. Right.
And so we were surprised, you know, our first month, like I said, we had 20 days booked, and we made $2,000 in our first month of October, you know, first full month. And, you know, even the first night in September, we started like late September, and that first night we were booked, second night we were booked, third night we were booked.
The first night caught us off guard. We made our listing, and we finally decided to make it live, and we're like, yeah, it'll probably take some time. People will book weeks out in advance. And then it was an instant booking for that night.
Right, and then we were kind of scrambling, like, oh, what do we do? What do we do? What do we get ready? Since then, we have our processes ready and things ready to go. But we'll walk through that. But that was definitely a very surprise, but a good surprise. You know, we made $75 that night, and the next 2 nights too. So
we were having a game night with friends.
Right.
We had to ask everyone, we're so sorry. You got to go home now.
Right. We invited people, we're like, come check out our cool space that we just finished, and we'll have a nice game night on the kotatsu heated table and just enjoy. And then like at 9 p.m. or something, we were like, you guys got to go.
Sorry, someone's coming to stay.
Yeah. I didn't have like the setting checked where any people can book anytime. Now they have to book before 7 p.m. I think, but before it was like they could book whenever they wanted. So we had someone book at like 9 p.m.
Right.
Yeah, so that was interesting. Anyway, before we get into that, so our Airbnb is actually a little different. We made it Japanese themed. You know, I'm half Japanese. My mom is Japanese, and we both went to Japan in 2015 actually.
Right.
I'm sure. Yeah, and we made it Japanese themed, and that was for multi reasons. Again, you know, we weren't sure, is this going to be successful or not? We want extra family space, so we don't want these big bulky beds around where we can't do a workout. We
wanted it to be very multi-purpose.
Right, a multi-purpose space. So we felt with, you know, traditional Japanese bedding is futons, we can quickly roll that away and use that entire space for our needs. And so that's why we went with this Japanese theme idea. We could tuck away the tatami mats behind this facade I built. If you look into the pictures or watching YouTube, you can see that. And I mounted a projector, and that was for us to do workouts. Projector screen with projector, and no TV gets in the way and doesn't ruin the ambiance.
Right, and everything is designed to be able to be put away neatly and easily if we need to. Put the mats, the futons in the closet, clear the space so that we can have, you know, an art class in there, or a game night with friends, or movie night together. So it's something that isn't purely restricted to being a bedroom.
Right. So before digging too far into the numbers, let's go into how we built this. It took actually, we were hoping like a month or two, but it took us like 6 months to really get everything done. And a lot of that was, trying to figure things out. Like, what is this water stain on the floor? That really delayed us so long.
So long. We thought we had a roof leak.
Right. And we were like cutting open holes in the wall. Where is this roof leak coming from? Where could it be? The window? Is it the ceiling? There's nothing wet, but the floor is always wet. And after a rain shower, it seems like it's even wetter, but really it was just in our heads. It was just like an oil stain.
Like a chemical stain on the floor. And once we removed the contaminated floorboard, put in a new one, our problem was solved. We should have done that in the first place.
That delayed us like years.
It did. We never wanted to use the space because we thought we had a leaky roof.
And finally, I'm like, okay, let's just rip out this floor. So I took my saw and I cut away the plywood from the floor, and I opened it, and I'm like, geez, this is really just an oil stain on this plywood, and this has delayed us all this time. Anyway, let me go into how we outfitted the Airbnb. So in total, it cost us $4,250 in one-time expenses to get this Airbnb up and running. I'm going to go into all the other numbers soon, but first, we're going to go into the renovations. So again, we had used this place to store junk. We made a plan, a draft concept of what we wanted the space to look like. We started purchasing all the supplies for the renovation. We started spackling, cleaning up all the drywall.
Because we were going for a very specialized theme, a Japanese theme, a lot of what we wanted to incorporate couldn't be just purchased. It had to be handmade. And though we could have hired a carpenter, we decided to tackle it ourselves and actually build a lot of the woodworking ourselves. Right.
So I started building like shoji screen windows. We have a beautiful circular type window in the unit. I built a kotatsu, which is a heated table. It's like you sit on the floor, and it's a heated table with a blanket over you, and it just heats you, and it's really cozy and comfy. I ordered the heater off Amazon, and actually the table I got from the garbage, and we cut down the legs, and I cut off the butcher block to a certain shape to be the way I wanted, and it actually turned out really good. I have a good YouTube video if you're interested on how to make a kotatsu table. And the table was actually a really long butcher block that we found in the garbage. So the other half I made into that circular window. I cut it with a router, and I have another video on that too, how to make rice paper shoji screen windows. That was a definitely interesting process. Took a long time, a real labor of love for sure.
It was, and you had to teach yourself how to do a lot of this woodworking and how to work with rice paper.
Right.
There was a lot that went into it for sure, but well worth the effort. We did a lot of research. We got books on the subject.
Right. And that was just to make it a really authentic, made by someone who's Japanese in America, authentic Japanese place. And we had, we covered the normal windows with kind of like this faux rectangular Japanese windows that are removable. They're just kind of Velcroed in place. But they look really nice. They look real. It looks really good, actually.
And again, handmade by you.
Yeah.
Also, another feature of a lot of traditional Japanese homes is this elevated space where they have intricate woodwork to draw attention to a certain area of the home. And we wanted to incorporate one of the walls with that kind of a design as well. So we did a lot of woodworking for that, inspired by various architectural books we looked into, as well as a local spa that we go to that has similar woodwork in there. And that was a huge undertaking as well. So all in all, I think an Airbnb renovation project normally would not take as long as we spent on it. It was just our choice to put in these intricate features that ate up more time, but in the end, I think made it a much more attractive space.
Definitely, I'd say 80% of the listing people say they just stay because it's so cool and because of the Japanese aspect of it. It's not that they're just looking for a place to stay. They stay because of that.
They like the ambiance.
Yeah, and all the amenities, which we'll go into, that we included. So, I feel like there's two reasons people stay at an Airbnb. It's either cheaper than the hotels around, or it's different. You're adding some kind of value that they're not going to get from a hotel. Maybe you're making them breakfast in the morning, or maybe you have something cool like, Japanese DVDs, a projector screen, a Japanese experience where you could almost feel like you're staying in a ryokan in Japan, but right here in the States. So definitely something cool when we have like a collection of like anime, and some people just stay because I have like all these animes from like Dragon Ball Z to Naruto to Bleach to, and people say, oh, we just stayed because we love anime, we just want to watch your DVDs. Anyway, back to our construction. So another thing is like we had to redo all the flooring. So we installed our favorite type of flooring, which we install on all our rentals, which is luxury vinyl plank, and that's waterproof. It's really resistant. It's hard to scratch. It's really the best flooring, and it's relatively cheap. We paid $2.79 a square foot, which is not bad, especially because you don't have to put a lot of the subfloor materials because it has its own cork backing and everything like that.
We installed it ourselves. We didn't pay for an installer to do it, so that saved on some of the costs there.
Yeah, we took about half a day to do it, maybe 3/4 of a day, like 5-8 solid hours.
It is a very simple type of flooring to install. I highly recommend it. You can do it without a lot of assistance or a lot of tools.
Right, all it was a hammer. It clicks into place, and a hammer and a little plastic backer.
Right.
And we bought that from Floor & Decor. It was called Spalted Maple. Really
it looks
liked
like real wood. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, we just bought another batch, like 600 square feet for
another
a rental.
Apartment.
Yeah. Yep. So bought a ton of wood from Home Depot to make all the wood fixtures and for the shoji screen windows. And we, like I said, we have this beautiful, like kind of themed wall with all this woodwork, and Sunmi painted a mural in it, and it looks really good and just really kind of brings the whole experience together. Like it once you open that door, you really feel like you're transported to Japan, and that's the effect we wanted. And from our 33 reviews now, it really seems like we hit the mark there. Man, staining, so we chose this golden pecan stain, and really I like that color a lot.
It's a beautiful color. It complements the wood nicely, goes well with the flooring we chose, and was insanely labor intensive to stain all the little wood pieces that we were using.
Yeah. Oh shoot, I don't think the viewers were being able to see the pictures I was showing. Anyway, I'll scroll through them shortly if you're looking. So there's that floor, there's us installing, more installing, there's the wood I bought from Home Depot, all of that, there's a staining, and there's kind of that finished front face. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and it looks pretty close. Like if you go back to that beginning picture, and again, you can follow along on fanvestor.com/Airbnb of that little picture of our little schematic. I think it's pretty close to what we imagined it would be. And there's the projector screen we installed. I just bought it off Amazon, and I have all these links of all the purchased items within that Airbnb post too, with the dollar cost as well. There's the projector we installed, HDMI port in the wall, so for the DVD player. And there's the projector. I bought it used off eBay because projectors the good ones are really expensive. So I bought this, it's a $2,000 projector I bought for, I think, $200 off eBay. And it worked really well. I have Netflix, just installed Roku Fire Stick in the HDMI port of the projector. And basically, all you need is that projector unit, and you can go through Netflix, Amazon Instant Video, Disney Plus, whatever you want, just from that Roku stick. So that's really cool. There's kind of the finished room right there with the futon, tatami mats. And there's Sunmi, getting ready to paint her mural. So she sketched it out, and then there's her painting it.
It was really exciting to tackle that project. Me being an artist, I love painting murals. It's actually one of my favorite things to do. But to do it in traditional Japanese ink painting style was, in a way, challenging because I had to simplify my style and then and still make it bold enough for the space that we had.
Yeah, real quick, if you're watching, here's our actual listing on Airbnb. We call it Fuji-san Hotel. You want to tell the backstory of that?
Yeah, so when we went to Japan, we hiked Mount Fuji, actually, and it was one of the highlights of our trip. It really stood out in our minds as, like, one of the most memorable moments on our trip. Also one of the most challenging. And we stayed in a hotel. We got a private room. I paid extra for our private room. Up on the summit of Mount Fuji. And it was really the most rustic sleeping arrangement we've ever experienced. I think it was $85 a person.
Yeah.
In US dollars. And we booked a private room, and they assured us it was a private room. We hike for hours and hours until
from
darkness
the 5th station to the 10th station or whatever.
Darkness sets in. We finally reached the hotel, And it's like a summit lodge. You go in there, they hand you this. Dinner was included, so they handed us this dinner, which consisted of a pouch that really looked and smelled and tasted like cat food over rice.
It was good, though. We were so hungry.
Well, it was good because we were just so hungry and tired. And then we went up to our room, which consisted of basically like this 40-foot long room of bunk beds, all side by side. And to separate your room from someone else's room was a curtain hanging from the ceiling. So you pull it between your mattress and the person's mattress next to you. And honestly, if you rolled over in your sleep, you'd roll onto some stranger next to you. But we didn't really care because we were so tired after hiking all day, because Mount Fuji is quite a trek. And it was an experience that we'll never forget. And so we look back on it very fondly, and we thought, you know what? That's our inspiration for this Airbnb. Let's commemorate Mount Fuji.
Yeah. So actually, if you look at our travel hacking post, we do have a picture of that. So here it is. That's row upon row, probably 30 sleeping bags in, the span of 20 feet or so. And our private room was that curtain that we got to slide and be in our private room. I'm sure if I just moved my elbow an inch, I would have been elbowing my neighbor outside my private room. But so we traveled to Japan for free using, credit card hacking. And so that's under the fanvestor.com/travel hacking. You can see a trip to Fuji. You can see Sunmarie next to 2 tuna heads at the tuna fish market in Tokyo. There's us climbing Fuji to see the sunset. Sunrise, right. Sunrise early in the morning. So we stayed in the hotel, got up early to see that sunrise.
Highly recommended if you're ever thinking of traveling to Japan. Climbing Mount Fuji is an awesome experience. Not for everyone. It's exhausting, but it's well worth it. And just know what you're getting into when you book a private room in the Summit Lodge.
It was worth it. It was just...
Well, there was no other choice.
But just a little bit below expectations, or our expectations were high, and they did nothing to damper them.
Our expectations were based off of American comfy hotels.
Right. And also to note, once you start getting up there, bottles of water first start at like $1 or 100 yen a piece. Then they go up to 200 yen, 300 yen, 500 yen. So just be wary of that.
They also charge you to go to the bathroom.
And that starts also 50 cents to go to the bathroom, $1 to go to the bathroom.
When you get to the top, I think it's $3.50.
Right. And there's no trees, it's above the tree line. So it's kind of hard to find any privacy to go.
So bring money.
Bring money. Bring money if you want to use the bathroom. Yeah, and then they start selling cans of oxygen too, so a lot of people were doing that
because of the altitude, right?
Yeah, we felt the altitude for sure, but we never did the oxygen thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we brought Fuji back to the US for other people to experience, or at least Japan. Little taste of Japan. So to heat and cool the unit, there was nothing installed. So we actually, in Japan, they have a lot of mini splits, which is like a heat pump system. So you have a condenser outside, and you can use a wall unit inside. And there's like Freon that kind of runs between them, and you can use it to cool and heat your unit. So that's what we did. This is the outside unit right there, and that's the wall unit.
It took care of the issue of air conditioning, especially. Mm-hmm. There was heat, but
it wasn't finished.
It wasn't finished, and also we had the trouble of, do we put in a window unit for an AC in the summertime?
Right. And
that would have really affected the decor quite a bit.
Yeah.
So we decided this was the best way to go.
And it's been great, when we got a pretty good deal on it. I think it was like $700 for the units themselves and $500 to install. They're efficient. They just run off electricity, and they heat and cool the whole place. So definitely a really cool thing. And here's the bathroom renovation. We had to renovate the bathroom. The rough plumbing was all there, but we had to install the shower, the toilet, and we did a pretty good job with that. We got some local Japanese art that's on the walls from a Japanese artist in the area. If anyone's interested, I think I have a link to her work on the blog post. And then last but not least, we installed a system for self-check-in, so we didn't have to constantly meet these guests, So we just installed a digital keypad upon reservation, and a few days upon entering, we'll send them the key code and specific instructions on how to access the unit.
As far as basic amenities go, we don't have a kitchen in the space. It's not a full apartment, but we do provide a few comforts. We have a microwave for heating things up. We've got a little mini fridge for storing some water and basic foods. And we have a Keurig coffee machine where we have Keurig K-Cups for coffee and tea.
And we give them some little Japanese snacks too, again, to just go along with that Japanese theme. We really wanted to give mochi ice cream to every guest, but we couldn't find any packaged mochi ice cream. They all came like in 6-packs, and we wanted individually packaged mochi ice cream. So if anyone knows where we can find that, let us know. I feel like that would really be another step up our Japanese game here, because we love mochi ice cream.
Right.
And we labeled everything in the unit, even the light switches, what do they go to, just to make things as easy as possible. Even on the Wi-Fi router, I have the Wi-Fi router, you have the password to get into it. Everything is labeled. We put in, charging cables if people forgot charging cables. We have, like I said, those movies. We have a coat rack. We have the iron. So all your standard amenities are there waiting for you. We even bought, New York City travel guides for people to view and look at if they get here. We have menus from the local area, and we just put labels of how far each of those menu locations are. So like we say how far the local pizza shop is, just 0.2 miles away. The Chinese place is 0.2 miles away. So we just have that all ready to go. On the back of the door, where you look as you're leaving, we have the checkout instructions, and we have other pertinent instructions like the Wi-Fi code. If you need to call us, we have the host information right there too. So just trying to make everything as foolproof as possible and really make their stay as convenient as possible without having to have them, look around to really get their bearings and know what to do.
Figure things out. I think when you're traveling, one of the most important things is just for things to be very intuitively set out for you, because it could be a point of frustration if you can't figure out how to turn the projector on or how to turn on the heating system or whatever it might be.
Right. And we have a white noise machine, which is another added amenity in there. We really sleep with a white noise machine every night, so we like that sort of thing. So just another way to add a little bit of, goodness into the unit. And here is our Fuji-san Hotel logo. So this logo was made by my friend Taishu, who's kind of made every one of our logos. I think he made the Fanvestor logo, or at least the Metal Horse Properties logo, almost every single logo we have.
Right.
Anyway, I think that logo is pretty cool. We call it the Fuji-san Hotel. So, I'm sure all this sounds kind of cool, standard renovation project, though. What is the actual step-by-step process of running an Airbnb? I'm sure a lot of people want to know. So, I'm just going to walk you through it. So usually we'll receive a email, text from Airbnb. There's an Airbnb app, but they also usually forward you text saying, a guest is staying, and we make it mandatory for them to tell us why they're staying. So we'll get that. One of us looks at it. Sunmarie is a co-host. I'm a co-host too. So we look at the message, and if we made instant booking available. You can either do instant booking available, or you can do it so you screen all guests and say whether you accept or you deny based on the reason for staying, based on their profile picture, based on all these other criteria you set forward. We decided in order to get the most bookings, Airbnb really recommends you allow instant bookings for anyone with a rating or review. You could mandate only instant bookings for people with profile pictures, all these little things you can set up. So we did that. And so we'll look at their message. We'll usually respond, hey, thanks for booking with us. These are the check-in instructions. And what's great about Airbnb is you can actually use saved messages. So you don't have to always type the same thing over and over again. So we can just go to our saved messages, and we have a saved message that says, hey, please view the following link for instructions on parking, accessing and using the apartment, and all the local food and transportation and instructions. And we give them the entry code right there and then. So it's really an automated process. And usually there's no questions after that. I'd say there's very few times we have more than 1 or 2 messages with every guest that stays.
We've put together a pretty comprehensive information sheet explaining where to park, how to access the unit once you get inside, anything and everything you could want to know about the space, as well as some other additional pieces of information like local bus routes and train routes and local attractions and so forth for those who are interested.
Yeah, and I know we've stayed at a few Airbnbs where they just kind of bombard you with pages and pages of information, and no one wants to read all that. You're going on vacation, so we just wanted to make it really simple. So we highlighted all the pertinent details. How to contact the host if you need to, how to park, how to get into the unit, what the Wi-Fi is, how to use the temperature and control that, the projector, the kotatsu, if there's laundry, other amenities, house rules, all right there on one sheet of paper. And like Summer said, on the back of that paper, we also have, transportation to New York City that everyone wants to know, the local food that's in the area, how far it is, what the phone number is, how much it costs. Is it like $1 sign, $2 signs, $3 signs? Also local convenience stores, and then local attractions. And again, we have menus in the Airbnb too for people to see. So anyway, we send them those instructions, and from there, it's usually pretty automated. They park their car, they check in with a digital keypad, and 9 times out of 10, we don't ever even see them. And then again, we just communicate with the Airbnb app if there is any interaction. And then guests check out by 11 a.m. Usually we have guests check in 3 p.m. or later, and then checking out at 11 a.m. And then we're trying to get more of a cleaning team, but currently Sunmarie's mom actually has volunteered, or she gets the cleaning fee of $30 per stay, and she has been turning over the unit for us. So that's new sheets, vacuuming. It's probably, I don't know if you want to go into that whole process, Sunmarie. We made a cleaning checklist to kind of help with that, but
right, it's still a work in process, and it's something we want to get even more automated. But at this point, we have a pretty cohesive system of how to go about cleaning the unit. We turn the beds, take off all the old sheets and all the old bedding, take out all the old towels, the little throw rugs, throw them in the washer, and then replace them with new, fresh, clean sheets and towels and duvet covers. And
right. We want to get the washer going as quickly as possible so that we can get it drying, because that whole cycle is about 2 hours or so.
Right.
And we do have 2 sets of everything, so we can start putting on the new set. But, we kind of want to finish up the entire process so it's ready to go for the next time.
Right. So that's obviously the most important thing, is getting that bedding taken care of and the new towels put in. As well as vacuuming and mopping the floors, cleaning out any old food that may have been left behind, dusting off the woodwork and the features we have in the space, and scrubbing down the bathroom, the shower, and so forth. When we were preparing our space, we were looking for a lot of information on how best to run an Airbnb. What are the best processes you could have? And we got into watching a show called
Instant Hotel.
It's
on Netflix.
It's a bit of a reality TV show, and it's full of drama and so forth. Kind of fun, a little light on the information at times. However, we did get some good pointers from it, and an interesting takeaway we got was the hospitality standard of hotels and hospitality industry. And what was mentioned time and time again in the show, and we made note of, was that people really are more comfortable when they stay in white sheets, white bedding, and white towels. And we thought that was interesting because the majority of Airbnbs I'd say we've been to have not had that. Never really thought too much about it, but I do acknowledge that whenever you go to a hotel, the sheets are always white. The towels are always white. And it just gives a very straightforward cleanliness factor. You can see clearly on something white whether it's clean or not. So we decided we wanted to follow that process for our Airbnb as well. We wanted to have crisp towels, crisp sheets, really have it be nice and clean so that no one is worried about the space they're coming to. They know they're coming to something clean. Actually, it was interesting because one of the first families we had come, the wife told me she rarely stays in Airbnbs and in lower priced hotels because she refuses to stay in a hotel that does not have white linens and towels. And that is her standard by which she books things. So I was like, that's very interesting, So we hit the mark there. And I definitely think it is a worthwhile thing. It's really important that your guests feel that they're entering a clean space. And by doing that, I feel we provide that clarity that we're, cleaning our unit as we should.
Right. And if you're interested in the supplies we use, you can, again, go to fanvestor.com/Airbnb, and we have all our sheets and bath towels, hand towels, where we got them from, the exact ones we use. Usually we're buying a lot of this stuff from Amazon or IKEA or Costco and trying to get the best quality ones that are going to last the longest and be the best bang for our buck. Anything else for cleaning, Sunmarie?
Um.
So again, we have a few like not amenities, but nice things like we put bottles of water in there. Usually a bottle per water per guest.
The coffee and sugar and
Yeah.
morning necessities.
Right, and we have it set up so base rate is for 2 guests. Any guest over base, it's $10 a night extra. So if you have 3 guests, you're paying at $10 a night extra. 4 guests, $20 a night extra.
4 is the maximum capacity in our space.
Right, that's all we have bedding for.
We also decided to go with hotel travel size shampoos and soaps. We thought that was a nice amenity to offer, as well as makeup removing pads for the ladies, because providing a big jar of shampoo or conditioner, people get wary of who used this last and so forth. So to eliminate that, we provide a little personal travel toiletries to enhance their comfort in their stay.
Yeah. And, I calculated we have a lot, once I really dug down and thought about, how much we're making. So I said, in our first month of October, we made $2,000, which is sweet. But how much did we actually accept? We were cleaning that first month, so we got the cleaning fee. But normally we'd have a $30 cleaning fee, which we wouldn't collect. It'd go straight to the cleaner, who Sunmarie Mom gets it now. So, we had 20 days of 20 different stays, so that's $600 I think that went to a cleaner. Well, some were multiple night stays, but you get the point. A lot of that $2,000 is actually cleaning, and I calculated that consumables actually cost $3.50 per stay. So that includes bottle of water, which is 3 bottles cost 22 cents. Japanese chocolate snack, that's 36 cents. And then we have makeup wipes, shampoo, conditioner, soap, K-cups, coffee, creamer, sugar, stirrers, toilet paper, tissues, paper towels, garbage bags. So I calculate all these things, and it's about $3.50 for all the consumables per stay. And then we have wear and tear items. Someone was mentioning sheets, pillowcases that we have to wash, bath towels, hand towels, wash face cloth towels, mattress pad covers, duvet covers, bath mats, all that I calculate, wear and tear. Bath towels probably only going to last 200, 300 stays. So that's probably 10 cents per stay that's being worn out. So I'm saying it's about $1 a stay for those wear items that we're going to have to replace eventually. We use cleaning supplies like laundry detergent, bleach, nitrile gloves, spray cleaners, and I'm saying that's about 40 cents per turnover. And then all those one-time purchases that I mentioned, that all added up to $4,250. So things like a digital keypad, a mini split, microwave, mini fridge, trash can, Keurig coffee machine, Blu-ray player, Japanese DVDs, projector screen, HDMI wall plate, towel rack, shower rod, shower curtain, Japanese floor chairs, charging cables, Wi-Fi router, switch router, handheld vacuum, kotatsu heater, kotatsu blanket, outlet countdown timer, bamboo bench, Japanese kimono quilt, white noise machine, paintings, gongs, futons, pillows, blankets, flooring, stain, vanity mirror, toilet, shower head, wood, rice paper, all that equal to $4,000. So, if you add up all the one-time expenses, is about, all the recurring expenses per stay, it's about $40, including that $30 cleaning fee. It's about $40 per stay in expenses. And so because of that, we're really, if we make $2,000 a month for 20 stays, that's $800 in expenses. So we're only profiting about $1,200 a month. But again, that's $1,200 over what we were doing before with just a storage space. So that's pretty cool. And, we spent $4,000 plus to put this unit in place. So it'll take about 3.5 months to recoup all those fees. So right about now, we're actually about to hit the break-even point, and then it's all going to be gravy from here, So I think overall, that's a pretty good investment. And we probably spent more than most to get it up and running. So I think that's pretty cool, and especially if you are like a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad and you just want some side income and you have some extra space and extra time on your hands, maybe, while the kids are napping, you can go turn over the unit, or have the kids help you turn over the unit. I think that would be a really great side hustle, side income. Or you could systematize it and have a cleaner come and clean the unit. But I think it's such a good side gig. With a small investment, you can really have this side income come and really help you achieve some level of financial independence.
Right.
So we hope you got a pretty good picture of what it takes to run an Airbnb. I want to address some questions I had when I was thinking about starting the Airbnb. Things like, how much does Airbnb actually take from your earnings? So surprisingly, only 3% from the hosts. So if someone, books a place with $70 and pays a $30 cleaning fee, we actually take home $97 and Airbnb only gets $3. So $100 total, we take $97 and Airbnb only takes $3. So only 3%, a very small, minute charge. However, hosts don't see it, but Airbnb actually charges the booker, whoever the guest staying, they get charged like a 5 to 15% booking fee. So they make a little bit on both ends, and that's what allows them to keep going. So I talked about screening guests. You can, and one thing I was wondering about is, do we have to be, once we list an Airbnb, do we have to be 100% available all the time? No, you can block certain dates. So you get a calendar and you can go into the calendar and block, okay, we're going to be on vacation this week. I don't want to deal with this, so let's just block it. Or, Sunmi's about to have a baby. Let's block this week so we don't have to worry about Airbnbs at this time. So you can block whenever you want. And you can also, price out certain, months as you want. Like this month, I really don't want to do it. But hey, if someone wants to pay me $200 a night, sure, I'll do it. So you can price out weeks. You can price out specific days and block specific days, one that day at a time.
Yeah, I think over New Year's and Christmas, we had the price higher.
Right.
Because we didn't necessarily want to have to deal with turning the unit. But we said, hey, if someone's willing to pay that much, then I guess it's worth our while.
And a lot of people were. We were pretty busy around that time. Yeah, we were $100 plus. I forget what we charged, but
was it Christmas afternoon? We were in there cleaning out.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of flexibility on pricing, and you can do what Airbnb suggests is automated smart pricing. So you set a range. Hey, this is the minimum I want. This is the max I want, and they'll set the pricing according to demand in the area. We do mostly automated smart pricing, but we'll go into certain weeks and, just say, hey, this is what we want from flat pricing. And you can set, how far out you want your calendar to be. I think currently we only have like it out to 2 months of availability. So anything past, we're in January now, so February, March, they can book till. But I can open it up so we're open, a year out so people can start booking in August already. So there's a lot of flexibility depending on what you want to do. I guess now I'm thinking about opening it up, but originally I was like, I don't know how long we're going to go, if we're going to like this. I didn't want people booking all the way into the next year without me knowing if I still want to be doing this. Right. I think I'm ready to start opening it up now. A lot of people ask about taxes and fees. So in our area in New Jersey, actually, Airbnb automatically takes hotel fees, hotel and occupancy tax that they're going to pay to the state right away. So they're taking that away automatically and charge the guests. So we don't actually get charged for that. So they just charge the guests automatically. We never see it. So it's good. I don't have to collect it. I think in other states, if Airbnb doesn't do it automatically, you're going to have to collect that yourself and pay the state that. People... I wondered, do I have to always be managing the app and answering questions? Because honestly, I want this to be as passive as possible. I'm trying to hire a cleaner who's going to manage the app, manage the guests, and talk to them. I don't want to have to talk to them. So yes, you can have as many co-hosts as you want, or maybe you're limited to 5. And the co-hosts, you can set it so they can't see personal details or whatever you want. They can't see payout info, but they can interact with the customers, reply to them. They can edit pricing and availability, edit the listing, do everything you need them to do so they can manage the whole business for you. So that's eventually my goal. If anyone's interested, let me know, and we'll just set up an interview. I'm looking for someone to clean the unit, manage the Airbnb, and get those 5-star reviews. We're thinking like maybe $10 for every 5-star review you can get a little bonus. Anyway, if you go to the bottom of my post, fanvestor.com/Airbnb, I have a lot of referral links, so if you don't have an Airbnb account and you want to start Airbnb places, I have a link for that. If you want to start being a host, I have a link for that. You'll get some cash, and I will too, and I'll be happy to mentor you if you go through my referral link. And we also have a link for our Airbnb if you want to check it out. If you're ever in the New York City area and you want to stay, feel free. And just, thanks for listening. We hope you like it. I do have another question, actually. Sunmarie, how long does it take to turn over the unit when we were doing it?
It actually takes us about an hour and a half. Haven't seemed to be able to get it to less than that. When we began, it did take longer than that. But right now, it seems to be averaging an hour and a half.
And we have to wait kind of the 2-hour mark for the clothes to dry, the sheets and the linens
sheets.
and the dryers.
Correct. But basically to do the work, the sweeping, the mopping, the vacuuming, the cleaning, the turning of the beds in the bathroom takes about an hour and a half. And I do think that our bedding is a little more complicated than most because it is on the floor. And so it is a little more labor intensive than if you have a bed on a platform, which I think would probably be quicker to make.
And what would you say? Are most of the guests good, bad, clean?
Yeah, majority of our guests, thank goodness, have been really, really clean, and they take care of the space. They respect it. And we've had maybe one or two that we were not 100% satisfied with. But in general, everyone who's come by has seemed to be really respectful of our house rules and our space.
Any nightmare stories?
No.
What's the worst damage that's been done?
Lots of towels lost to makeup. That's for sure. That was
very
an
surprising,
eye-opener.
actually.
A lot of face towels. I didn't know people like to use face towels so much to remove makeup. I don't wear much myself, so I don't have a lot of experience. But that was surprising. The first few times it happened, I was really mad that my towels were ruined, and then I realized, oh, this seems to be a normal thing.
Yeah, it's more the average than not that will have at least one, stained towel with makeup. Usually we can bleach them, but a lot of people get like a black towel that says makeup on it. You can buy them on Amazon. We haven't done that yet because we think they're kind of gross looking.
But we are thinking about it because it is such a common occurrence.
Right. So we bought like cheaper quality face towels that are more kind of disposable.
Right. Rather than originally we got really plush luxury face towels, and then it really hurt when they got damaged. So now we have more dispensable kinds that it doesn't matter so much. What else we have? We had hair dye stains on the pillowcases. A couple of times we've already had that.
Yeah, just people with hair dye sleeping on the pillows and it transfers to the sheet.
That's really hard to get out.
Yeah.
But in general, yeah, people have taken very good care of our space, and grateful for that.
Yeah. So we hope we answered some of your questions. We hope you enjoyed this detailed, talk about how to start an Airbnb, our experience, the financials behind it, the work involved. And, like I said earlier, I think it's a great side hustle. Someone who wants to make a little extra income. Maybe you're a single person who has extra beds. Maybe you have an in-law suite. You can rent out a basement with a separate entrance. It's a sweet way to make extra income. You don't have to, go get a second job and commute somewhere else. It's right at home. Just spend a couple hours turning over the unit. But it is a job. So if you're not going to systematize it out, don't expect it to be completely passive. So guys, thanks for listening. Definitely check out the blog post I have, fanvestor.com/Airbnb. And we are coming out with a YouTube video of our whole renovation process. So check that out at youtube.com/fanvestor. Trying to get that channel a lot more videos soon. So definitely start subscribing to that. A lot of good content going to be there. Anyway, thanks for listening to us. And yeah, we wish you guys the best in the new year. And let us know if you start an Airbnb or something cool like that. Definitely tell us.
We'd love to hear your stories.
Right. So, guys, thanks for listening again. Godspeed.